Hello guys, welcome to our YouTube channel. This is Yapzor. In this video I'm going to show you how to design this very beautiful looking flyer from scratch. We are going to take everything from step by step. I'm using Photoshop CS 2020. Any version can actually work. Even if you're using the first version of Photoshop released in the 90s, it's going to work. So kindly follow me throughout. The resources we are going to use are two simple flyers. This one is called a homework flyer. I downloaded from unsplash.com, and this image, this is like a gradient, a more complex gradient. That is an image that I downloaded, which is also going to be used here. So the first thing we'll do is to create our new canvas, which I'm using 10 by 10 inches, 300 resolution. I'm going to be using it for social media. That is the reason. And you leave it as RGB. If you are printing, go for CMYK. So when you open, the first thing we are going to do is to bring in our resources. So I'll just drag this one inside here, extend it to cover, and what we are going to do is to create a guide in the middle here. So what you do is you go to view, guide, then 50%. Make sure it's vertical to get a vertical line, which will be positioned 50% of the page. So you've seen how it is. So now move our image towards that direction. Then from there, you click on Ctrl T to transform the image. Ctrl T or Command T if you're using Mac, and you flip horizontal. You can lock it after you are done with that. The next one is to create a gradient, and the gradient we are going to be picking the basic gradient. That is the just one color gradient, and that's what we are picking. Then we'll change the angle to 90 degrees, so angle of 90 degrees, and you click OK. From there we'll bring in this image. You can actually use a gradient that flows. I like the flow of the colors from red to yellows, so you can get a gradient that flows that way, which is going to work very good for you. But for me, this is what I used. So when you are done with that, you blend this out. You change the blend mode and you test them through to find the one that suits better, and subtract is giving me a better result, which I prefer. But reality, this place is a bit lighter. It's not as dark as I wanted it. So you come back to the gradient editor. Then the first color, you make it darken. You darken it. So if you bring it to black, it's going to be black. But just make sure it goes a bit far away from the white itself. So it's just close to white, but kind of gray color. Then it's right there. So these ones you can group them. You can group them as a name BG. So that serves as our background. Then you lock it. The next thing we are going to do is to draw a rectangle, which is going to be squared. Sorry, I just draw my rectangle here. You click on shift to make sure it gives you a rectangle. So you place it right in the middle of the page using the smart guide. If your version doesn't have the smart guide, what you simply do is you select everything by clicking on Ctrl A to select the whole canvas. Then with the move tool on, you come and adjust here using the alignment tools. So from here you go back to your shapes tool, you move fill to 0, empty, then you increase the stroke. Then holla, you lock that too. The locking is simply coming to click on this to prevent its movement and being selected, or simply just click on Ctrl /. So when you are done with that, it's now left with our text, which we have here. The font I am using is Arial. I think the rectangle is bigger. You can reduce it by clicking on Alt, then dragging inwards. If you're using CS6 or below, make sure you click on the shift when adjusting the rectangle. You lock it back again. Then you simply copy this to this side. Make sure they are of the same font size. Change the color of this to yellow. Then from there, our date. So you draw a rectangle here. The length should be a bit more than its height. Then you can duplicate it by clicking on Ctrl J. So when you duplicate it by clicking on Ctrl J, you just simply click on Shift and drag inwards to get something like a header for it. Then you come back to the rectangle, then right click on it, layers panel. When you go to the layers panel, you select gradient overlay, pattern overlay. You select, if it's my version, this is what I have water patterns, so the water patterns, I'll select the second one. If you are using a lesser version, you can get a good gradient or pattern that is going to work there for you. So with that, I'll add a color overlay. And the color overlay, this I'm using color band, and this is the color of what I have or what I'm using, which is given as similar to the yellow color. From there, you can just select it together, click on Alt and move towards the left. Then you now click on Shift to hold to give you a good stretching or copying of the same thing across. I will now type in our text. Exam retreat. And this is how we want the text to flow. This side yellows, this side white. So it kind of gives, you know how retreat is, you go backward, so it kind of gives a bit of difference to it and a vibe. We'll type in the theme. All these ones were already typed, so that's why you guys find it. I'm saving you the time of typing all of them now. When it comes to the theme, you first of all make it white. The theme, you go to character panel. If you don't have character panel, go to Windows, then down to character panel. You just click on this and you have it up here. So when you come to the character panel, you select this superscript and you do likewise for the quotation. Then with the text, you bring in that movement of this in there. So now I just use F00 to get the right yellow color. And that is the flow of things. So at this place you change the color overlay to make, so you select a darker color. Okay, so you just select that, then type in the other details. Sorry for the background noise, I'm in a hostel then. So you start typing the other details needed. So day 1,